Hello friends, today we'll try to write a C program to perform set operations. The first operation which would perform is union of two sets. Let's say we have these two sets with us, set A containing these elements and set B containing these elements. Normally we store set by using arrays. So here is an array A and array B. So when we take union of these sets, we'll get, let's say, A union B array, which contains all the elements from A and the elements in B which are not there in A, those will be added to A union B, right? So in short, A union B operation consists of elements which are either in A or in B or in both A and B. So let's see how to do it. So first what I'll do is I'll copy entire array A as it is. So as you can see here, so all the elements of A I have copied here, right? Then I'll go to B and pick one element at a time from B and check whether that element is present in A or not. If that is present in A, that means I have already copied that element in A union B, right? If that is not present in A, that means I need to copy it again. So for example, if I pick 1, and I check 1 in this array A, 1 is present here. That means 1 I must have already copied. I need not copy 1 again. Similarly, I'll do the same thing for 2, right? So 2, I check 2 is not there at all. That means 2 I need to copy in A union B. So I copied 2. Then for 3, 3 is present there. So I need not copy 3. Thus I get A union B. So let's see how to write code for this A union B operation. So what I'm doing is first I'm copying all the elements of A from A to A union B. So for I'll initialize, I'll take in fact a variable I which will help me in copying elements from A to A union B, and variable K here, right? So for I assigns to 0, I want to start copying from 0th position of array A, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? And 0, 2, 3, and so on. Right? So I want to copy from 0th position of array A. So that's why I'm starting at 0. I assigns to 0. I less than n. If there are n elements in array A, the last position will be n minus 1. So I'll go from 0 to n minus 1. So that's why I less than n. You could also write I less than equal to n minus 1. And then I plus plus. So what I'll do is I'll simply say A union B of K. Of course, I have started K at 0. K started at 0. Okay. So A union B of K equal to A of I. Right? So, and then after copying at kth position, I increment K, right? Because I need to copy next element on next position. So K plus plus. So K, which was here, now will be pointing to this position, so that I'll get the new element at this position. Okay, so then this loop will continue and we'll have all the elements of A copied in this array A union B, and at the end of this I will have my K pointing to this last position, the next empty position. I will have the K there. So let's check whether we have K here or not. Right. So I0 condition true, we copy, we increment. So K will become 1. Then I go up, I increment I becomes 1. I copy the element from 1 to next position, that is 1, or K is 1. Right. I increment K, K goes here. Right. So K becomes 2. I increment my I becomes 2, and now I copy from 2 to 2. Right. 3 will be copied here. Then I increment K, so K becomes 3. So I go up, increment I becomes 3. I copy from 3 to 3, right? So I go copy here, then increment k, right? And when I go up, increment I, now this time I has become 4, so so this condition becomes false this time, right? So I go to now, but by this time I have my k pointing to 4th location, right? So I go to now what I am left to do is I'm going to copy, I'm going to check uh, whether the elements, I'm going to pick one element of B at a time and going to check whether it is present there in array or not, and if it is there I need not copy it in A and B, right? So I'm going to start at array B. Let me check, let me take a variable I, which I'll assign at 0. I'm going to start, I'm going to reuse this I, I'm going to start here, right? I assigns to 0, I less than m if there are m elements in array B, I plus plus, right? So initially to start with, now when I is 0, I'm talking about this element B of 0, right? So initially I'll assume that element is not present there in array A. So for that I'll set one variable called as flag equal to 1, just to assume this is not there, right? When I find it there, I'll make this flag to 0, right? So flag 0, I have started at this, I have made flag for this 0. Now I'll start checking this in this array A. So now I'm going to array A. In array A, again I'll start at 0th position. It means I'm now taking the variable j for array A, right? Variable j is for array A. Okay, so j assigns to 0. I'll continue checking through this array till last position. So j is less than n, j plus plus, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply check whether the element of B is present there in A, right? So what I'm going to check is B of I, is B of I equal to A of J. If I find that, I'm going to check if B of I equal to J. So if I find this condition true, what I'm going to simply make is I'm going to set this flag to 0. I'm going to set this flag to 0. I'm going to break this for loop. I'll directly go out of this for loop, right? If this condition becomes false, if this condition I find true, but if I never find this condition true, then I'll remain in this loop and quit this loop after this condition becoming false, right? When I come out of this for loop because of this condition becoming false, I will conclude I don't find I did not get the element in array A. Okay, so here I'll close my for loop. Okay, so let me once again tell what I did. I started at this. Uh, I picked this element I0. I pick this element, and now I assume this is not there in this array. That's why I set flag for that as 1. And then now I'm starting to check check in entire array A. So I'm starting at 0, right? I'll check is B of I, that is 1, equal to A of 0. No, it's not. So condition is not true. So again I go up increment j, that means I'm going to next position of array A. Again I check if is B of I is still 0, that is B of I 1 is equal to A of j, that is 4. So again condition I find false. So again I go up, increment j, j becomes 2. This time I compare this with this, right? This time also this condition is false. Now I go up, increment j, j becomes 3, and this time I compare this with this, and this time I find both elements are equal. That means this condition is true, right? So what I do is now when this condition becomes true, I execute this. I set flag to 0 and I break this for loop. Breaking for loop means we need not continue further even if we have elements left to be here, because I found one here right? I need not compare it with the remaining elements. That's why I need to break. Now once I break this for loop, I need to check why I came out of this for loop. I'll come out of this for loop because of two conditions becoming false. One is this condition becoming false, other is this condition becoming false, right? Because of this break. Okay, so I have to check that. So I'll check the value of flag, and if I find flag to be 1, that means the element is not there in the element is not there in the array. But if I find flag 0, the element is present in this array. So I'll simply check what is flag. So I'll do it here. So now I'm coming out of the inner for loop. If flag equal to 1, that means the element is not present in array A, right? So I need to copy that element in array C union B. So I'll say C union B, I'm sorry, A union B, A union B of K. You remember our K was on the last position, right? So A union B is equal to, I am copying from B, so B of I, right? And now after copying, I'll implement my K so that I'll get the next element on that position. So that's it. Now I close the for this bracket for the first for, so that is this for. Okay, so that's the code for union operation, right? So let's write the code for intersection operation also. For doing intersection operation, what we need to do is we need not copy, we just need to neglect this. We need not copy the entire array A. What we'll do is we'll copy only the elements which are common in A and B. So I'll start comparing the elements of B. I think I can do with this for loop only. I can start comparing each element of B with each element of A, and if I find the element of B present in A, I'll simply copy those elements, right? So now if I do this, if I use the same code, flag I assign flag equal to 1 for this, assuming this is present there, this is not present there, right? So I check whether it's present there or not by using this for loop, right? So if b of I equal to j, I'll set flag. That means when I find that, I set flag to 0. Now after coming out of this for loop, right, so I'll not now see whether the flag is 0, flag is 1. I'll not copy when the flag is 1. I'll copy when the flag is 0. Flag 0 means the number is present in array B, right? So of course we have assumed we have initialized k to 0 now, right? That is this. Okay, so I think with this small change I can get A intersection B operation. Okay, so thank you for watching.